I saw this video and I thought it'd be interesting enough to check out. It's a video from Truth Is YouTube channel. Shout out to him. Go and check out his channel. He has a lot of like really good content, and if you like his content, just like I do, go check out his Patreon. His Patreon is only $3 a month, so that's a good deal if you're somebody who is very into the types of like content that he makes. So today I'm going to be looking at a video that he has called TDE Sacrificed Ab-soul's Career for Kendrick Lamar. Very interesting title. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Ever since Ab-Soul was 12 years old, he wanted to be a famous rapper. He wanted fame and recognition so badly, he was willing to do anything to make it. He pursued his dreams until he got his foot in the door. But when he got his foot in the door was when he realized that making it to the top wasn't going to be easy. Instead of giving up and quitting his dreams, he decided he was going to do anything to make it. Ab-Soul gave it all he got, and in the end, he never achieved the success he so desperately wanted. Instead, he watched his dear friend become the star he always wanted to be. All he was left with at the end was knowing that he gave up everything for it, but never achieved it. Being left without tasting the success he dreamed of, losing
You know
his
what I
soul,
just
and
realized? I just realized something. This story is directly, almost similar to the way rapper Capital Steez, like almost kind of similar to his story with regards to us, Capital Steez and Joy Badass. It's so crazy how that's almost like it. I feel I immediately that's what I got when I heard this just now. It's crazy.
losing his life. Ab-Soul's life is a story of a lost soul, and today, I will tell you exactly how he lost his soul. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we will be talking about how Ab-Soul was sacrificed by TDE for Kendrick Lamar. Let's get right into it. Have you ever wanted something so bad
And I used to listen to
You were willing
Ab-Soul
to fight and change if it came to
like
it,
a
even
lot
sell your soul
back
to
in
have
the
it?
day.
I hope you answered that question with a no, but for those who said yes, take this story as a warning, as God tells us himself that nothing in this world is worth more than your everlasting soul. Hollywood is the place where souls go to die. People who imagine themselves having the world in their hands, only to realize the price for their dream is much more expensive than they can afford. That's exactly what Ab-Soul learned the hard way on his journey to make it as a rap superstar, a journey that nearly cost him everything and left him with nothing. Let's start this story at the very beginning. Herbert Anthony Stevens, aka Ab-Soul, was born February 23rd, 1987 in Los Angeles. He lived with his father, who was in the military, stationed in Korea, until his parents split at the age of 4. When his parents split, he ended up back in the United States, living with his grandma in Carson, California. At the age of 10, he contracted Stevens-Johnson syndrome, which caused him to be hospitalized, and is the origin of his signature dark lips and light-sensitive eyes that forces him to always wear shades. This led to him often getting bullied because of his condition, but he didn't let this stop his confidence, as by 12, he had already decided he wanted to become a famous rapper. See, music was always a part of his childhood. As
He's a really good rapper too.
That's that he was always in.
That
he ended
sucks,
up writing
man.
his first song at the age of 12 to a Twista beat for the song Emotions. By the time he graduated high school, he decided that he was going to give his music dreams his all, not knowing what this would end up costing him in the end. For the next few years, Ab-Soul would work on making songs and trying to get signed, which didn't take long. After recording his first song in 2002, by 2005, he was already signed to an independent record label called Street Beat Entertainment. While on this label is where he would end up meeting his future boss, TDE Punch, with Ab-Soul claiming,
"This is like the usual dream of like most rappers. Most rappers end up like doing it like this. They usually just grind and grind and grind and grind and grind as much as they can to become a rapper. That's how it used to be back in the day, as far as like, I need a record deal. I gotta do all that I can, because I'm sure that, Ab-Soul was living, low under his means. As far as I know, he owned and operated the family record store, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I know at least there's like maybe two things I know about his early life, is that like he had Stephen Johnson syndrome, and then of course he worked at his family's record company, where they sold vinyls and different types of like, recordings in a mom and pop's shop. That's from what I know. But this is the usual dream of underground rappers from like 2000 and what is it, 2003 up until like 2008, 2009. So sounds about right.
Punch saw his full potential and gave him an opportunity. By 2007, Ab-soul was one step closer to making his dreams a reality, as he would end up signing to TDE, an upcoming Cali label that would end up signing the massive star Kendrick Lamar. Ab-soul is associated with this label to this very day. He would immediately get to work on making music to put out under TDE, with moderate success, something that would become normal for Ab-soul. By 2009, Ab-soul will end up forming the rap collective Black Hippie with fellow label mates Schoolboy Q and Kendrick Lamar, a rap group that would become well loved by fans of the artist. Little did Ab-soul know that soon his dreams would be stolen by one of the rappers in that very group. By 2012, Kendrick Lamar exploded in popularity, eventually becoming one of the biggest rappers in the world. Today, he's possibly considered the biggest rapper in the world after recently beating Drake in the beef of the century. Now, he's set to perform at this year's Super Bowl halftime show. While Kendrick exceeded, Ab-soul was forced to watch him from the sidelines, something that Ab-soul did everything possible not to be his outcome. This hunger for more fed his drive to keep on trying to become the star that Kendrick Lamar was, and this took him to a wicked place that he was never able to come back from. See, in 2012, while Kendrick was reaching new heights in the music industry, Ab-soul was dealing with a tragedy, as his longtime girlfriend, Lori Jo, had done the unthinkable. Lori was not only Ab-soul's girlfriend, but she was also a fellow artist. I remember that. Having songs with the entire Black Hippie crew, including Kendrick Lamar. In a mysterious turn of events, Lori took herself out by leaping off a radio tower in Compton, California.
And look at this. The way, remember how I referenced, what's his name? Capital Steez, Joey Badass's friend, who was also a rapper. Guess how he passed. Guess how he passed. Capital Steez jumped off of their record label's building. Same way this young lady took her own life. It's so crazy. It's crazy, man.
She was only 25 years old. This loss deeply affected Ab-soul.
She was a really good singer too.
A part of himself by losing her, but still he kept on his dreams of trying to be a star, something that only kept on becoming more and more true for Kendrick Lamar. On March 15, 2015, Kendrick Lamar dropped his critically acclaimed Billboard chart-topping album, To Pimp a Butterfly. The album was a massive hit, selling 324,000 copies first week and eventually going platinum. All this success led to Kendrick being nominated for a total of 11 Grammy Awards, winning 5 of those nominations. Unfortunately for Ab-soul, he wasn't nominated at all that day and had to watch Kendrick's victory from the sideline, as his old group mate and label mate swept the Grammys, taking home 5 awards. Kendrick was being praised by all of Hollywood as one of the best rappers in the world, while Ab-soul had to live in his shadows. This is the moment Ab-soul knew that if he wanted what Kendrick had,
and it's crazy because Kendrick Lamar literally goes on record and says that he took Ab-soul's rap style.
To gain the whole world, to the
Go back real quick.
If he wanted what Kendrick had, he was going to have to do something drastic. He was going to have to sell his soul to the devil in order to have it all. In 2016, Ab-soul decided that in order to gain the whole world, he would have to first sell his soul. This is exactly what he did when he decided to involve himself in the world of the occult, hoping to reach new levels of success. After the Grammys in February 2016, a couple months later, Ab-soul ended up dropping
I'm not gonna lie, between his album Control System and I don't even know that what's the name of it? That Control System album was a little, I ain't gonna lie, it was a little bit weird. A little bit weird, bro. This is back when I was still listening to him too.
Do What Thou Wilt, an occult theme album that was influenced by one of the sickest occultists ever lived.
This is when I stopped listening to him. When he was doing this Do What Thou Wilt stuff. Like I think after Control System, I kind of just like drifted off from listening to him. Because there was a point there was like a little point in time where he took like I don't know if it's a hiatus or he just stopped making music. And after that Do What Thou Wilt album, like I don't think I didn't listen to him when he made that album actually. Because he's just starting to get into like weird territory for me.
Man who called himself Baphomet, or the wickedest man alive. This was Ab-soul's ultimate attempt at going mainstream, him telling Hollywood he was willing to show his occult ties. The album was named after Aleister Crowley's credo, Do What Thou Wilt, which was the core principle and phrase for his occult sex religion known as Thelema. Thelema is an occult religion that many celebrities and artists subliminally show their alliance to. Ab-soul didn't do this subliminally though. He did this out in the open, admitting that he was inspired by occult principles of Thelema, which by most people would be considered Satanism. As even though Crowley didn't consider himself himself a Satanist per se. His religion openly worshipped deities like the Egyptian god Horus, Baphomet, and the Babylon
These
woman,
folks gotta
or as
stop
Crowley
playing
called
with
her,
it
the
with this
Scarlet
stuff,
Woman.
man.
Ab-soul put many of the core ideas taught by
Rappers
Aleister
just
Crowley
be
and his religion
rappers
into
just
this
be
album.
putting
For
themselves into
instance,
stuff
in
and don't
Thelema,
even
they
know
say,
what it is
love is
for
the
real,
law,
for real.
love under well, which we hear Ab-soul repeat throughout his song called The Law. In the hook of the song, he raps, love is the law, love is the only law, clearly referring to Crowley's love is the law, love under well.
It's
He
crazy.
also raps in the first verse of the song, they spoke of us in Cairo, quit some time ago. How these atom minds adapt to this is incredible. They love to go to sleep, but hate to be awake. Treat
And
the
just imagine that. A young person or a young person or an older adult will listen to this and have no idea what he's saying. It just sounds fire. It's crazy, bro. Goodness.
of Horus as if it's just a symbol. Unattainable, they read the wrong rights. Also rapping in the second verse, I know you a modest scarlet woman, like to say you everything but nothing, but you're nothing but my everything. These lyrics were full of Crowley's teachings. Like I mentioned earlier, Crowley taught about the scarlet woman, which Ab-soul raps about. He rapped about the ancient Egyptian god Horus, who Crowley claimed was his god. Crowley claimed that Horus came to him in a vision and possessed him, using him to write the Bible of his religion called the Book of the Law. This
It's
song was
crazy.
full of references to Crowley's
And the
occult
song
teachings,
is called
just
The
like his
Law,
song
bro.
Threatening Nature,
This
in which
is-
not only does Ab-soul compares himself to Christ and calls himself a god, but he also admits that the devil is after him and compares himself to Crowley. In the intro of the song, Ab-soul raps, look, it go 1, 2, 3, turn up, the devil's after me, little louder, hallelujah, 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 I'm more than a man. This bar aligns with the teachings of Aleister Crowley, who taught his followers who were a part of his religion that they were their own
this
god
man
in
is-
charge
this
of
man
their
is
own
out of
world
his
and
mind.
fate. This is what Ab-soul was referring
Man
to
is
with these
out of
lyrics.
his mind.
In the next part of the song, he goes on to compare himself to Aleister Crowley, rapping Do What Thou Wilt, and also rapping, but it's 10 times hard enough alone fighting temptation. Face facts, still wicked as Aleister Crowley. Ab-soul eventually ended up doing a few interviews for press for the album, where he was seen praising
Just
Crowley
having no-
and trying
just-
to
just
defend his
having
decision
no
of making a
idea
full album
what he
dedicated to
really
Aleister
getting
Crowley.
into for real.
And Mr. Crowley has been instrumental throughout music for before I was born. You know what I mean? Led Zeppelin, Beatles. There's a lot of great artists that are the building blocks for even hip hop. Me understanding that, you know what I mean, and digging into his story and understanding why he's been so relevant and influential in music culture. I think it was important for me to reinstill that. If you didn't know that, if you missed that part, if you missed that part of the culture of music in general, it's beyond hip hop, but just music in general, he's had a big influence on the culture. At first sight, he's the wickedest man alive, right? That's what he's a very wicked man. But if you dig into the poetry and you read between the lines of his poetry, you dig into his story, a lot of the things.
No actual understanding of what he had to go research into.
I just want to leave you with this. My album is called Do What Thou Wilt, and it's based off. It's influenced by Crowley's The Book of the Law. Love is the law. Love is the only law. Love under will. The law is for all. If you read the Christian Bible, that's the only commandment that Jesus left.
Discovered the name of the album was the.
And I
the
bet you
single,
anything-
Do What Thou Wilt.
And I bet you
with-
anything, his family is all a bunch of Christian people. And I'm sure he got calls from all of them. Like, what are you doing? Why are you referencing Aleister Crowley in your music? Do you really know what you're getting yourself into? I'm sure he got calls from. I'm sure he got calls from his relatives, his parents, whoever, sisters.
which brought me to Aleister Crowley. Correct. And you know who Aleister Crowley is,
Absolutely.
right? And he was a magician, a poet, and he was also linked to Satanism.
Yeah.
In many ways.
In
And,
many ways,
and so, what made you decide? What does that mean to you? Made you decide to name your project that?
Well, you know what? You're the first one to bring up the Satanism, and I'm so glad that you did, because it's all church with me.
Yeah.
Know that. So, Do What Thou Wilt immediately sounds like free will. Aleister Crowley has been influential throughout music and entertainment and ideology and philosophy. The album is based on that quote, "Do What Thou Wilt," which is in the book, one of his books, the Book of the Law. And love is the law. Love is the only law. I respect that because my main thing is ain't nothing wrong with a righteous man, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I really admire this guy.
It's gonna be a breakthrough joint?
Well, I mean, but
Well, see, what he's saying is, are you signing your name on the
Right.
dotted
Are you
line?
joining the
Are you signing your
Illuminati?
soul away?
Oh.
No, yeah, that's what he's saying.
Are you in the Illuminati?
I mean, what you think?
I know, but these are-
As you heard for yourself, Ab-soul was praising
He
Crowley
couldn't even-
and
he
claiming
couldn't
that
even
his
put
teachings were
together a
which
good-
surprised anyone
He couldn't even put together a good explanation to give why he was referencing Aleister Crowley's teachings in his music. That's how you know That's how you know he was lost, and I'm sure he still is lost on that. Couldn't even give a good explanation as to why that is being splashed out in his music.
who knows what Aleister Crowley was truly up to. This was
You
Ab-Soul's
don't
attempt at
understand.
crossing over into the mainstream. His attempt at making it big, like his label mate Kendrick Lamar. But even after selling his soul and literally worshipping pagan gods in Baphomet, his career didn't make it to the next level, still falling short of becoming the rap superstar he wanted to be. The rap superstar he watched Kendrick Lamar become. This seems to start eating at Ab-Soul, who considered himself to be the best rapper alive, better than anyone out. Even though he saw it like this, no one else did, no matter how many albums he dropped. No matter how lyrical he was still living in the shadows of TDE's golden child, Kendrick Lamar. It was almost like his success was sacrificed for the success of Kendrick. As the bigger Kendrick became, the farther away Ab-Soul still away from reaching him. Ab-Soul realized that all the attention in TDE was going directly to Kendrick Lamar, as naturally he was a star. This devastated him and destroyed them from the inside, and it eventually got to the point where he just couldn't take it anymore. Exactly 6 years after he dropped his album Do What Thou Wilt, Ab-Soul attempted to take himself out by leaping off a highway overpass.
Now, let me tell y'all something. This is around this time, he wasn't dropping any music at all. So I think that this is the time when he was in a depressive state or whatever it was, because he didn't Ab-Soul didn't drop any music. Like almost feels as though he wasn't almost like he just disappeared from the face of the earth around this time. So I'm guessing that this is around the time where his emotions were really just after him.
He only managed to survive when he ended up landing on a vehicle that broke his fall. This happened exactly 10 years after his former girlfriend, Olori Joe, took herself out in similar fashion. It had appeared that Ab-Soul had reached his boiling point, realizing that the years were passing and his dream was only drifting further and further away. It was setting in that he had lost the love of his life and even his soul, but it still wasn't enough for him to achieve his dreams. Ab-Soul spoke about why he tried to take himself out during an interview with Charlemagne, where he tries to blame it all on his addictions and not thinking clearly. But throughout the interview, moments of his displeasure with the outcome of his career were shown. Moments when the truth seems to unknowingly spill out as he tries to explain it all away. In one part of the interview, he stated how he wants the money, complaining about how all of his plaques say Kendrick Lamar on them.
A million times. Trying to get money. I'm trying to look. Let me be clear, because I'm not playing with you. Listen, I'm a black man in America, man. I need ownership. I need financial stability. I need financial freedom. I want to build a legacy. I want those things.
Which is something every person of independence wants. Yeah, I understand that.
I want to leave something here that's mine. I lived out my dream. Somebody didn't call me the best rapper ever. That'll never see me in real life, probably. You know what I'm saying? That's happened a million times. What now? I'm in it. I want to give me a Grammy, man. All my plaques say Kendrick Lamar on them. But I would think watching the success. You get what I'm saying?
As you heard for yourself, Ab-Soul complains about all his plaques, saying
little bit of
Kendrick Lamar's
jealousy.
names are on all of them.
Sound like some jealousy in his voice.
That he was tired of living in K-Dot's shadow, tired of watching him live the dream.
Yeah, a little
that he
bit of
felt he
jealousy.
deserved. He stated that he wants the money, not just the mediocre recognition. He wants to be at the top. He wants a Grammy. He wants all of what Kendrick has. Ab-Soul gave this interview a few months after he tried to take himself out, clearly reflecting what he felt and what led him to do it. Ab-Soul wanted the fame, money, and power that came with being a rap superstar. He embarked on a journey to achieve this goal that cost him his love of his life, his eternal soul, and eventually almost took his life too, leaving him with nothing but the regret of not making it that he has to now live with. The music industry isn't a place for those that are blessed by God, but a place where your soul is required for success, and sometimes it still isn't enough, as was the case for Ab-Soul, who is now just a story of a lost soul. I recommend that whatever you want in life, you pursue it, but through God, asking God to guide you in the right direction. If your dream aligns with God's will, then He will ensure you achieve it without having to sell your soul or become someone you're not. God is truly the only way, not to only eternal salvation, but to worldly salvation as well, as following His guidance will always keep you on the right path. Something I wanted to say before I end this video was that I don't think Ab-Soul was the only one who turned to the worship of Aleister Crowley and Thelema in TDE. In fact, I believe everyone in TDE are occultists who follow Aleister Crowley. That goes for SZA, Schoolboy Q, and even the golden child of TDE,
Honestly,
Kendrick Lamar.
Honestly, I could see that. I could actually see that. I could see that theory being actually true, because I mean, I've listened to some SZA music, and she's just saying some crazy stuff. heard her saying some crazy stuff. Kendrick Lamar has definitely said some crazy stuff. Schoolboy Q, yeah, never really heard him say nothing crazy. Just some regular old ignorant stuff. That's probably it. J Rock, yeah, ignorant stuff. That's about it. But Kendrick, Ab-soul, SZA, I've definitely heard them say some crazy stuff. Like for real, definitely.
In fact, Kendrick's latest album seems to prove that, as Kendrick continues his long-running theme of presenting himself as a god, just like Ab-soul did. If you guys would like me to make a full video about this, comment Kendrick Lamar below. I will only cover this if enough of you guys want to see it. I know many
Like a lot. Like I don't even need the truth is to cover a video. Like from this album, tracking all the way back to his last album, which is the Big Steppers album. It's very clear, and you can even go back to Damn. It's very clear that he's like bouncing back from, he's bouncing in between Christianity, being a Black Israelite, and some sort of like spirituality. I can't pinpoint that's what I feel like he keeps bouncing back and forth with. He's bouncing back and forth and just like sandwiching all of those beliefs together to present in his music. That's what I get from his last three efforts. Which I don't really think it's not really something I dig or get into. Because I'm a follower of Christ. I love God. You can't. I mean, it says it in the Bible. You know, God makes it plain. You cannot serve two masters. So he's serving 3 and 4 masters, trying to mix Christianity with Hebrew Israelite, with some other spiritual ideology over on this side. I'm not really rocking with it as far as I'm concerned. So, but yeah, that's the end of the video. As I stated before, I knew there was a reason back then that I had stopped listening to Ab-soul's music. It's not because of his inconsistent efforts. It was just because, like, some of the time when I would hear his music, he would be saying some wild, insane stuff. And